Welcome to Building Your AUM with Gsphere. This is John Oslin, the CEO of Gravity Capital Partners and Gravity Investments. We're going to take no more than 30 to 35 minutes of your time today. We respect your time. We're going to drive through 10 slides and then a live demo. Everything today is live. It's not canned. It's not script. Joining me is Mr. Gary Murphy, who has a very deep regional and national background building AUM with teams at Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, and AdvisorBox, and also Mr. Gene Paulson, who was a stellar performer with Merrill Lynch out of the Midwest, particularly successful in new practice development with physicians and business owners. A little bit of housekeeping. You might want to go to the upper right of your screen, click on the X, and then you'll be prompted with a diagonal icon, and you can go to full screen, which is a very nice way of watching the technology we're going to show you today. Again, everything is live. What you're looking at right now is gsphere.net, which is a turnkey solution that we host at Amazon, and it will run very nicely inside any type of mobile tablet or mobile computer, and that is exactly what you're looking at. And we host the application and do all the work, do all the heavy lifting for you at Amazon. So all you need is a decent mobile tablet or computer. Gary, would you be nice enough to go to the next slide, please? Thank you, Gary. And I have just two more slides and a couple more introductory comments. This is Gsphere. We are the only people in the world that have a very strong patent position, by the way, and registered trademarks and a number of other trademarks centered on diversification, portfolio diversification in the wealth industry. We're the only people that we're aware of that can measure, visualize, optimize, and search for diversification. And all this is to improve performance by reducing risk and with the power of compounding, enhancing returns. You'll notice the portfolio on the left, which is the Morningstar style box, is very poorly diversified, extremely risky, highly concentrated portfolio, frankly, a breach of fiduciary duty. The classic stock and bond model, 60-40, is certainly an improvement, but you still see an awful lot of the globe that's not covered. We're missing the whole world of alternatives that make sense, et cetera. And then models generated by our team using what we call true diversification, which eloquently covers all appropriate asset classes, greatly reducing risk in volatile, turbulent, sideways markets, and enhancing returns, preserving capital. And we go a couple steps further than Dr. Markowitz's efficient frontier. We're truly multi-dimension. We can go into 3 dimensions. We can go even more into more dimensions than that when we're building models using our higher-end institutional strategies. And everything we do is very holistic. We work well against over all asset classes, almost any type of investment strategy, and we can work domestically or globally with any security or currency. And I have one more slide, please. From a market validation standpoint, because we've been at this a long time, we've got a 15-and-a-half-year-old proprietary quant company where all the science and technology and patents and intellectual property sit. And then we've got a 3-year-old sub-advisory. We've successfully made that transition. $20 to $25 billion has been managed by professional advisors and wealth managers and institutions and family offices using our technology. In fact, we're the feature in the commemorative Legends issue, the Legends of Indexing issue of Journal of Indices that just came out, and we are the most in-depth feature in that. And Jim and our team were featured alongside Jack Bogle and a number of Nobel laureates, a real flattering opportunity for Gravity. We have, the essence of the article is we have the top performing science from a performance standpoint, crushing the S&P over 18.5 years. And what we're most excited about was the remarkable consistency and beating the S&P by 427 basis points per year. A real testament to the investment strategist efficacy of Gsphere. Because of things like that, we're the first mover in a partnership with Lipper, with the CEO of Lipper, in a family of diversification-weighted Lipper leader portfolios. Real interesting, real strong products Mr. Paulson will show those to you in a little bit in our live demonstration. A couple more points and I'll wrap up. We are a research partner with the Quantitative Grad School at the University of Cornell in the Ivy League. Where 10 of their top international quant students are assigned to us for the whole year, and also their 2 top widely published financial engineering and statistics professors. And we did not pay for that. That's because of the efficacy of our technology and their desire to get involved with us. Lastly, Dr. Markowitz said some very, very flattering things, and we have his permission to use these in writing about Gsphere. Your graphics are spectacular, and diversification maximization may be the next hot thing. It's my pleasure to turn it over to Mr. Murphy.
Thank you, John, and thanks everybody for attending and welcome. As John pointed out, we have $20 to $25 billion being managed by our clients using our Gsphere.net technology or software. And it really does 2 things we focus on, is capturing new assets using Gsphere.net through our visualization and measurement. And we'll help you with your marketing, sales, and relationship management. And we'll help build organic assets under management. And that's by building superior portfolios using our investment methodology analytics. What's real key about our Gsphere is the visualization and optimization. And you'll see that when Gene actually does the demonstration. Our client value proposition is based on 3 things: sales and marketing, operations, and performance. Under the sales and marketing, using Gsphere will really differentiate yourself from the advisor up the street or around the corner. Using our system will also build trust with your clients, and you'll win upstream competitive opportunities. On the operations side, it'll allow you to spend more time with your clients, selling to them, servicing them, or even maybe getting out on the golf course, because we'll actually manage the monies for you. We will take on the operation and the fiduciary responsibility for all of our models, which I'll briefly show you in a minute. And our performance, it increases diversification, as John pointed out, decreases risk, and we typically do 300 to 600 basis points better for the same strategy against a capitalization-weighted benchmark. And you can read about that article in the article on the Journal of Indices, which is what John had mentioned earlier. We see 4 prominent industry trends converging: alternative investments, smart beta, alternative weighting, and robo-advisor. There's no company better positioned to help with these areas than Gravity Capital Partners and Gravity Investments. And by working with us, could mean becoming one of the world's top 100 investment managers. What we found is that the old school asset classes are not inclusive enough. They're too correlated in general, too interrelated, particularly during bear markets and or times of distress. What we need to do is include non-correlated assets and better understand the interrelationship of asset classes. True diversification provides a means to measure and optimize all asset classes and their interdependencies. True diversification eliminates maximum amount of non-systemic risk from the portfolio, and you'll see that again in the Gsphere demonstration. Gravity Capital Partners, our models are now approved for Placemark, which opens up the door for us to work through Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, Charles Schwab and Company, Pershing, and Royal Bank of Canada. We're also on InvestNet, Fund Strategist Networks, and we have a very strong strategically relationship with Interactive Brokers. We actually really like Interactive Broker because they were rated #1 by Barron's for their online trading. They have great technology. We love their technology, and we love the economics of Interactive Brokers. This actually shows a number of our portfolios or strategies. You see they're all diversification weighted, and the ones in the middle John referred to where we're working with Lipper. True diversification builds and preserves assets under management, or AUM. We're systematic, scientific, process-driven, quantitative. All of our models, as you saw in the previous slide, are based on diversification, optimization, and branded as diversification weighting. If you want to see our performance, you can go to www.gravityinvestments.com/resources. And the nice thing about working with Gravity is that it's a turnkey product. We maintain all the models online on gsphere.net. As John pointed out earlier, we're fully hosted at Amazon. All you need is a computer or a tablet, and Gsphere is hosted on your browser. We will actually work with you to train you on the system and how to sell to your clients. And here's a picture of Gsphere, and I'll turn it over to Gene Paulson to do the demonstration.
Thank you, Gary.
Good afternoon. I hope that after this brief demonstration, you're as excited about this technology as we are. We think it's really revolutionary, and I refer to it as magical. I've taken the liberty of signing on already to gsphere.net, which is our workspace to bring this technology to bear. One of the first items here is investors, is where you're allowed to put in your names and addresses, emails, etc., of your prospects and clients. And this will be a robust area that can be gone into much more detail as you develop and get used to using the technology. We also then have the capability of maintaining the portfolios that you've loaded into the system, and you can go back to them and refer to them, and you can clone them, you can view them, you can edit them, etc. But the key to developing and gathering assets under management and for use on your quarterly reviews when you're speaking with your clients is to put the portfolios into Gsphere and calculate and measure those portfolios. For the sake of time here, I'm just going to let me go back here. You can enter the portfolio by using the symbols and load the whole portfolio. You can go over here and you can select an Excel file and download a portfolio into the system. Or in this case, for time's sake, I'm just going to use one that I've already got in here. And we're going to put in the amount of the portfolio. In this case, we're just using $1 million. And I'm going to import that into our system. As you can see, we've loaded that portfolio. And I'm just going to call this portfolio Demo A so we can address it. I'm then going to go in and I'm going to ask the system to calculate the diversification on this portfolio. And this is all live with active real numbers, so it takes a few minutes just to crunch these numbers. And it's going to give us a visualization of how this portfolio sits on a diversification point of view. You've got various options here that you can, how you want to view this. So when you're sitting at your desk with a client and or a prospect trying to get business from a competitor, this allows you to show that this portfolio, while it had many positions, when you start looking at the various boxes and risks, that we are not very diversified. If you come over here to our meters, which I refer to as our dials, we can see that our systemic risk is in a cautionary area. Our non-systemic is also cautionary. On an overall basis, this entire portfolio is exposed from a diversification point of view. One quick slide, I'm going to come down here. When I look at diversification sources, and this is a patented technology of Gravity, it measures this diversification. As you can see at the bottom of the chart here, over 50% of this portfolio is controlled by one dimension. In this case, it's most likely strictly market action. And then we have various steps. And the concept here, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get it to this axis line. The more of this space we can fill in, the better diversified a portfolio is. One of the beauties of this thing is you also can go back and you can take different time slots excuse me, for your observations from 1 month to 10 years or year to date, whatever you want to use. Where this helps you build assets under management is when we use our compare function, which allows me to take the existing portfolio that we're examining, And again, it's loading and crunching here. So I've got that as my one side. Just for comparison purposes, I'm going to jump over here and I'm going to pick the Lipper Leader Growth just to see what that does as a comparison. This alternative will help us create a proposal, and this can be a proposed recommendation versus an existing portfolio. And all of this is being done behind the scenes. As you can see here, and I'm going to throw the boxes back in here, you can now see that using this diversification weighted Lipper Leader Growth portfolio versus the existing portfolio, we've covered much more diversification space and not left empty style boxes, if you will, or areas of risk from a lack of diversification. This is a fantastic selling tool, since most of our clients are very visual. And when you show it to them, they might not understand all of our terminology and names, but when they see it visually and in 3D, it makes an impact. As we can see down here on our dials or meters, the same meters apply to our first observation, but now on our second portfolio that we just loaded, we're up into on a systemic basis, we're in a good territory. On a non-systemic basis, we're on very good territory. On an overall basis, we definitely have an adequate and good area. We can also compare profits and losses. Remember, gravity's beauty is on a full market cycle, so there might be any given point where one is better than the other, but from an alpha point of view, we definitely add value. But the most exciting chart, I think, is coming back to the diversification sources again, which again is our patented technology. As you can see here in the blue, this is the existing portfolio. And if you remember, we wanted to fill in as much of this space as we could below this axis to show diversification. As you can see, with the proposal that we have added as a comparison to the existing portfolio, we fill in most of this gray area. And this is what we're trying to achieve from a diversification point of view. So this is very powerful, again, to show to a client when reviewing their portfolio or trying to gather assets from them, that you do a very thorough job using technology. And as we can see here, we don't have to take as much risk as the existing portfolio to come up with very adequate returns. Another beauty of this is obviously you can show this to a client or prospect while sitting at your desk, but we also have the capability to build a report, which will then come out in PDF form. This will allow you, and your compliance people will love this on the side here, you can throw various caveats onto your report to make all of the, like I said, the compliance folks happy. We can, and I'm going to scale this down a little bit just to make it come out quicker, if you will. I'm going to create a report that, again, will be in PDF form. It can be shown to a client, it can be printed out and given to a client, or it can be emailed to a client in the form of a PDF. And hopefully this is, like I said, this is all live crunching of the numbers, so it's not automated or canned. It's got to produce its end product. And that should be momentary here. All right, and here's our report popping up. Oops, excuse me. As you can see, this is the report. I might mention that John alluded to it earlier, where we have Gravity Capital Partners up here at certain levels of assets under management working with Gravity. We can private brand all of this to your organization, and it looks like it's coming right out of your system. But what we've done here is we've strictly put in paper and PDF form what we were showing in those graphs. So here we have our globes with our positions. Your client can drag and move these around, and you know, just something a little bit exciting for them. They can actually move them on the screen in the PDF. Our next section is our meters. which again, very graphically show the increase in diversification and safety we've achieved by diversifying this portfolio. We then come into our scatter chart, which again shows us with much less on the risk factor basis than the existing portfolio. Some typical type charts you might see with a Morningstar, but you're not going to see this at a Morningstar. And this is, again, is our patented technology, which shows the extent to which we fill in the diversification lack in existing portfolios and show what we can do by adding various gravity product sleeves to greatly enhance diversification, thereby reducing risk and increasing alpha with existing portfolios. So that's basically a report in a nutshell. Is available, again, under your brand. It's visual, it's complete, and it's very scientifically based, and it's repeatable. So that was a very brief demonstration of Gsphere.net, but I think hopefully you're as excited as we are with the technology. No one else can show this, and when you show this to a prospect or a client, you're showing them that you have the latest technology in being able to measure and optimize their portfolios. And with that, I'm going to turn this back to John.
Well, thank you, Gene. And just, I have 5 quick bullets to recap. If you'd please allow me about 90 seconds and we'll be done. Gravity has completed the transition, so we're no longer a tools company, a word I don't like, but the industry did call us that way back in the day. We're now a institutional sub-advisor and also a sub-advisor and business partner to financial advisors. We will embed Gsphere.net under your brand inside your website, tremendously powerful for sales, marketing, and extending distribution. That's one of our engagement tiers. You don't have to license our technology. We typically don't license it anymore. It's included for engagements at larger and larger amounts of assets under management. You get more and more of our technical goodies and services and direct relationship management by a certified investment professional. Our program it's comprehensive, it's complete. All engagement tiers are turnkey. We do everything. All you need is to give us the green light, perhaps a mobile tablet or computer, as Gary said. We'll do the training, the support, et cetera, and we run investment strategies. We've got a full set of strong investment strategies that will likely cover an advisor's book and opportunity set. I just saw some new alpha code that's very exciting. I think we're the first people in the world that can truly automatically on the fly, out of sample back test with a roll forward a new strategy. Something that I think family offices, institutions, pension plans, and advisors would be very excited about. Another tremendous business development efficacious capability. Our marketing department will likely professionally, digitally drip you with materials should you like. And if you'd like to know more, you may simply email me personally as a CEO, Osland, O-S-L-A-N-D, at gravityinvestments.com, and I'll mobilize the right professional consultative resource to get you more information. And thank you so much for your time, and have a good day. Bye-bye.